this other stuff. The microwave generator operates at a steady frequency presently preferred at 1000 megahertz. Presently prefer the pulse the microwave energy at pulse widths of 10 nanoseconds to 1 microsecond. For any one setting of the FM capable generator, this width is fixed. The pulses are arranged in bursts. The timing between bursts is controlled by the height of the audio envelope above the voltage standard line. In addition to the bursts are spaced from one another at a non-uniform rate of 1 to 100 kilohertz. This non-uniform spacing of bursts is created in the FM capable generator. So it's like they'll speak into a microphone, then it goes through this FM capable generator, which I guess spaces the bursts and modulates them so that you're not getting like something that's modulating. It like fixes that, and then it turns it into a microwave to shoot at your head. Let's see. They're referring to the diagram of the equipment. There is illustrated two groups of bursts of microwave energy that are delivered by the antenna to the head of the person. Has a horizontal time axis identical to the time axis of Figure 2, and has a vertical axis that is, in this case, represents the power of the microwaves from generator. At the left part of Figure 3 are a plurality of microwave bursts that occur on the time axis from the point of intersection of the standard voltage with the positive part of the audio wave, designated as the time point to time point. It will be noted that the bursts are non-uniform in spacing and that they are closer together at the time of maximum audio voltage and are more spread out toward the time points. This is the frequency modulation affected by the FM pulse generator. That's complicated stuff. But the deal is, like, I mean, this patent for pretty sophisticated equipment that had been worked on was, published in around 1980 something. So, by this time, they've made something more compact, where it's user friendly, and that's why we're getting it, from remote sources or neighbors or what have you. And that's with all of these patents. Sophisticated equipment, patented and published, in the 70s and the 80s. By now, I mean, the sky's the limit on how compact and how easy it is, for our stalkers to use. Sounds pretty complicated. Operation. The intelligence to be perceived by the person is introduced at the audio source, which is like a microphone, which may be a microphone for voice or a tape player for music, instruction, etc. This audio signal is transmitted to the FM capable generator and to the comparator. The comparator compares the positive portions of the audio wave with voltage from the voltage standard, and when the audio wave instantaneously exceeds the standard voltage, the FM generator is actuated by the wire connecting the comparator and the FM generator. The FM generator then sends a plurality of signals to the microwave generator at each peak of the audio wave above the voltage standard. This is shown graphically in figures 2 through 5. The audio signal exceeds the standard voltage at point 33, whereupon the FM generator starts emitting burst signals at its lowest frequency of about 1 kilohertz. As time progresses past point 33, the voltage above the standard increases and FM generator responds by making the burst signals closer together until at peak 28, the maximum density of burst signals 32 is achieved. For example, at a frequency of 50 kilohertz. The time duration of each pulse is also controlled by a fixed adjustment of the FM generator, and for example, the duration may be 100 nanoseconds. Let's see. The frequency modulated burst signals are delivered by FM generator to the microwave generator as interrupted DC, and the microwave generator is turned on in response to each pulse, and its output is delivered by coaxial cable to the parabolic antenna. To project microwaves onto the head of a person, these microwaves penetrate the brain enough so that the electrical activity inside the brain produces the sensation of sound. When the parameters are adjusted for the particular individual, he perceives intelligible audio entirely independent of his external hearing organs. Presently preferred quantities. As mentioned previously, I prefer that the standard voltage of figure 2 be about 50% of peak audio voltage. This not only helps to reduce hearing in the person, but also reduces spurious audio. This is not vital. This 50% is not vital, and the useful range is 25% to 85% of peak audio. The minimum burst repetition frequency, for example at time points 33 and 34, is preferably 1 kHz, and the maximum repetition frequency is in the range of 25 kHz to 100 kHz, with the lower frequencies resulting in less heating. So I guess if they're using lower frequencies to give you this microwave hearing, it heats up your brain less, which I don't think they do for me. I think they turn it up to the highest frequencies. The time duration of each individual pulse of microwave radiation is in the range of 10 nanoseconds to 1 microsecond as indicated in figure 5, with the shorter time periods resulting in less heating. Control of power output. Okay, I might not read that. I'm just going to read the theory of operation. I have not been able to experiment to determine how my microwave system works, but from my interpretation, see, that doesn't make any sense. It's like this guy is doing a patent for the equipment. That's a lie. Like they put up, like, for remote neural monitoring and for microwave hearing and for directed energy weapons, they put one name with it, or one. Like, actually, for directed energy weapons, they put one company with the patent. But this remote neural monitoring and microwave hearing, they put one name with it. And this is saying, like, the guy's saying in the patent that he hasn't even tested it. So, I mean, that's complete. That's a lie on the face of it. Because he wouldn't even know how it works. He wouldn't know how people respond to it. But from my interpretation of prior work done in this field, I believe that the process is as follows. Any group of bursts related to the audio, EK28, causes an increasing ultrasonic buildup within the head of the human being, starting with a low level for the first burst pulses and building up to a high level with the last burst pulses of a group. This buildup, I believe, causes the direct discharge of random brain neurons. These discharges are at audio frequency create a perception of sound. This process, I believe, bypasses the normal hearing organs and can create sound in a person who is nerve dead deaf. However, this theory of operation is only my guess and may prove to be an error in the future. So he's made all this equipment and he's just guessing that it works because of previous work. I mean, that's really fishy. Apparatus. The apparatus of Figure 1 for carrying out my invention may include a microwave generator model PH40K of Applied Microwave Laboratories and described as signal source. The cable 21 connecting the microwave generator and the antenna is RG8 coaxial cable by Belden Industries. The antenna may be a standard parabolic antenna. The FM generator has to be specifically built to include the spacing function, I think he meant to say spacing function, which is obtained by a frequency generator built into a standard FM generator. I've described my invention with respect to a presently preferred embodiment as required by the patent statutes. It will be apparent to those skilled in the technology that many variations, modifications, and additions can be made. All such variations, modifications, and additions that come within the true spirit and scope of the invention are included in the claims. Okay, well, that was pretty complicated stuff. I guess all the patents are. I mean, it's a lot of scientific speak, and it gives specifics on the frequencies that they're actually sending the microwave hearing to our brains. But I wanted to go ahead and read it just to get some concrete, you know, reading of the patents. And I wanted to do this with all the technology. And I know I'm not going to cover it all because there's probably technology that they use on us that we don't know about. Um, you know, like additions to the remote neural monitoring, additions to the microwave hearing, additions to the directed energy weapons that have happened since, you know, the 70s till now. Um, Alright, guys, I just wanted to read that. Go ahead and look it up. I mean, it's all there. Like, all this equipment that, you know, all target individuals are saying is being used on them. There's patents for them. It's concrete. You can look it up. You know, it's not in our imaginations. You know, I'm getting hit really hard with remote neural monitoring and V2k. A lot of the other stuff I've buffered with plates and plugs. You know, that send out scalar waves and create fields to buffer this stuff. There's certain stuff that it's a lot harder to buffer. Plus, you know, my God, like, I mean, it's terrorism. You know, the guy's trying to paint me as a crazy person, and then it's a constant 24-hour day, like, militant operation to, you know, cook me, to shoot images into my head, to shoot microwave hearing to my head. And like I'm gonna stop. Like I do this, I do a disclaimer. I'm like, I know it sounds crazy, and this does whatever. It sounds like schizophrenia. Like it's meant to mimic that. Like these technologies are meant to do this to people. But I'm gonna stop using that disclaimer pretty soon and just treat this like it is. It exists, and people are using it at a ground level, and it will hurt our society if it continues. It's already hurt our society so much. It's hurt our world. So the more that we and I've learned this, the more that you stay silent and the more you just let these guys do what they want, they're gonna go further and further. My guy started out with, I like screwing around with this guy. The guy that I'm dealing with now in this house, I like screwing around with this guy. I can hit him from the back window and in his kitchen. I heard him talk to somebody about that. To now he's saying stuff like, you know, we got to go ahead and just kill him. You know, it's like, I've heard them say, let's cook this guy, let's kill this guy on the V2k so many times, it's ridiculous. Anybody who says that is not looking for justice. They're not out to help our society. They're out to help themselves and with really, really bad stuff. So, keep fighting, keep resisting, guys. You know, we are the resistance, and we've got to get people up at the top. We've got to get people up at the top who know about this, who know about the technology, who are against it. We've got to give them power to speak out and then power to help us. So we've got to just keep going. We've got to keep going no matter what. And I guess that was the most boring patent I've read. And I didn't really understand a lot about the megahertz they're sending. What I come out with it, I guess, in a layman's, layman's verbiage is that, you know, it does go through a microphone or whatever, or a tape, so they can make a tape of a lot of voices collected, like if they've collected things they've said, and they can loop it, so it'll go from that audio tape or that microphone of them actually speaking into it to a modulator, to an FM modulator, so it can make it so it's not modulating, and then send it in a microwave signal to your head, where actually your brain picks it up as something that it can hear when it's not actually going through your ears. And that's kind of what I get. And you know, it's very easy when you're working with this, and you're sending something to be, I guess, you know, modulate it and then turn into a microwave. They're not always. It may sound like a room full of people, but it could be a tape. It could be a tape or something recorded and then modulate it and then sent to your head. So it'd feel, because you're a human being and we have natural responses, it would feel like, wow, there's a room of people just sitting around all the time, when it could be, you know, recorded stuff. However, I mean, they can sometimes, you know, sit around a microphone and do it. It's deceit wrapped in deceit, wrapped in violence, wrapped in more violence and lies, wrapped in terrorism, wrapped in lies.